This
starting
conference
from,
will now be recorded.
so we are going to discuss about the introduction, what is onboarding, terminology of success factors onboarding, such as the uh, onboarding programs, tasks, document flow, everything. Now, SAP Success Factors onboarding process flow overview or process flow, that how the candidate moves through the onboarding process, how the onboarding is initiated, how the recruitment is integrated here, and how the employee centrals management pending hires is integrated here. Onboarding processes, the hiring manager, new hire, and the HR experience, and compliance documents which are available for these 5 countries as of now. SAP completely manages this. For UK, Australia, US, and Canada and New Zealand, they manage it. Uh, we do not have, as an implementation partner, we do not have any say in there. They manage it completely by themselves. And that happens in onboarding 1.0 also. Like they always manage the standard compliance form for these countries, UK, India, US, by themselves only. The internal hire process, we are not going to focus that much into it because this is cross-boarding. The rehire process, this is one of the scopes we are going to cover. Restart onboarding process, SAP Success Factors onboarding and learning, as in how Success Factors learning can be integrated with the Success Factors onboarding module. How the onboardees can go ahead and start their learning exercises even before they become an employee. The offboarding process, custom processes using process variant manager, external HRIS integration we are not going to discuss about because we are assuming that we are using Employee Central only, and in case of the ATS integration, we are going to use the SuccessFactors recruiting system. Now, related to this learning and onboarding, most of the part the implementation is done in liaison with the learning consultant, because most of the part, or you can say 99% of the tasks are done by the learning consultant, because that they own that module. We just assist them there. Now, additional configuration and features such as your additional data collection, protection and privacy features, onboarding 1.0 coexistence. So as of now, if any company wants to use onboarding 1.0 for certain country and onboarding 2.0 for certain country, they can do it. It is possible. And we have achieved it for some of the clients. Onboarding 1.0 migration to onboarding additional resources. Sorry. Now, success. I have one question from both of you, Ankita and Krishna. Is success factors an ERP?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you please repeat?
Okay. Is success factors an ERP? So SAP HCM is ERP, but is success factors an ERP?
Success factor is
Yes.
ERP.
Is ERP?
Correct, sir.
No,
I'm sorry that sir, please
success
go ahead.
factors is an HR suite which can be integrated with ERPs, but it is not an ERP itself. It can be integrated with ERPs, or well, but it is not an ERP itself. It is an HCM tool. Nowadays, it is termed as HXM, and it can be integrated with different ERPs, but it is not an ERP in itself. Now, let's move forward. Terminology of success factors onboarding. Onboarding, provisioning, you all know about it. I do not need to deep dive into it. What is instance, provisioning, uh, initiate onboarding? Initiate onboarding is a feature, Krishna, and recruitment via which we can initiate the onboarding. There is a basic configuration behind it. We do the configuration in recruitment for that. And welcome message is something which the hiring manager or the assigned user sends to the onboardee. It can be personalized. We can have a default message configured, and it can be personalized on the basis of the onboardee. Let's say some high profile or some higher level of employee joining, let's say not CEO, some senior manager, director, someone is joining, and you want to customize the message specifically for that person, there is an option to do that. And if you make any change there, it does not hamper the entire default message. Default message is going to like be just like that. It will be applicable for that particular onboardee only. Onboardee as in that confidential hire or that particular hire. Now, provide personal data is one of the steps, or you can say wherein the onboardee is supposed to provide their personal data. Now, Krishna, you can relate here. They provide their national ID information, personal information, and social media information if they have the permission. Then address, any information which is not coming from recruitment and is required in Employee Central, they provide there under provide personal data. Now, for any information they provide there that flows directly into their employee profile. So let's say they provide their national ID information, goes to employee profile. If they provide their social media or their address information, they add multiple emails, they add multiple national IDs, they share their gender, they share their bank information, work permit, anything they share that goes directly into their employee profile once they get hired via managed pending hires. Now, for you today, you must have seen, let's say, you have some pending tasks that appears at the dashboard under for you today. So similarly, for the onboarding tasks appear under for you today for the user assigned with that task. So let's say the hiring manager is assigned with writing the welcome message. That is going to appear under for you today, and there is a tile for that administrative tasks, and they can access those tasks there. New hire data review. Let's say a new hire coordinator is there. Some role is there as new hire coordinator, and Krishna is the new hire coordinator for that particular onboarding. So under for you today, a task would be created, a tile would be created to review new hire data. So anything which is related to the onboarding would be coming under for you today. Now, provide additional data in case the fields which are available in Employee Central are not able to cater the requirements or the information required from the candidate. Those already created EC fields are not able to cater those requirements. Then this provide additional data comes into play. So let's say for India we do not have the compliance forms, and the client wants to ask the candidate about the provident fund information, and we do not have the option to enable the compliance form because it is not available. The SAP has not provided it. So what we do, under additional data collection, we create forms with the help of objects. uh, you both would be knowing about generic objects or the simply objects. We create objects, create the UI, associate that, so the onboardees are able to provide their additional data. And that additional data does not go to Employee Central. It will not be sent to the Employee Central. That remains in onboarding only. Mostly those things or uh, is asked from the candidate. So a form in the next step can be filled. So if you see document flow process, so a form can be pre-populated with the values the onboardees have filled and have the documents signed by the onboardee. So the signature type can be different. Let's say it can be either from SAP's e-signature, that is free, and that is provided by SAP, that is legal also. Many of the clients ask if the SAP's e-signature is legal or not. We have gone to SuccessFactors and they have confirmed that those signatures are the signatures are legal. And if the client does not want to enable SAP's e-signature, they have their DocuSign license. We can integrate DocuSign with SuccessFactors onboarding, and at the document flow process, as in at the time of this signature, they are going to get the email from DocuSign that they have to sign these documents. Let's say, for example, I talked about Provident Fund. So the Provident Fund information is provided by the onboardee at provide personal data. They fill that information, candidate fills that information. All the information which has to be updated in the document is pre-populated from the additional data or from their personal data, and they get an email from DocuSign to sign those documents. Once they sign the document, they get the completed document for their what do you say to keep them to themselves. Now, compliance flow process for this US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, there are certain set of compliance documents. For them additional configuration is required, and those, depending on the flow of the compliance documents, those documents are sent to the relevant users. So in case of I-9 in US, the onboardee should sign the I-9 after filling the form, and then the manager is supposed to, or any user you assign is supposed to complete the I-9 form and then sign the form. Now, manage pending hires. Manage pending hires is the last step wherein the onboardee is, wherein the pending hires are completed, and for this employee central is definitely needed, and the HR admin or any role who is supposed to complete that manage pending hires, they review the information. In case if there is any information pending, they fill that information there and submit it. On the date of joining, this day one conversion job runs. We create that conversion job in provisioning. That day one conversion job runs and converts the onboardee into an employee. And the employee definitely gets an email from the SuccessFactors that they have to reset their password and log in to the system with the new username they have received. Now, succession data model, you both would be knowing. Succession data model is the data model we use for the configuration into Employee Central. And now onboarding is going to use the same data model. Just that in case if there is any field which is mandatory, even if we do not use the onboarding data model, we can still use the succession data model. In some cases, we replicate the succession data model. Reason behind, so let's say there is a field gender, which is non-mandatory in Employee Central, but client wants the onboardees to fill in the onboarding module. So because what will happen, let's say gender, there is already Employee Central live, and gender is a new field which they have created. This is just an example. Gender is a new field they have created, and they cannot force, or they do not expect everyone to come and fill the gender field, but they want the onboardees who are coming new to the system to fill it mandatorily. So what they would do, they would keep the gender field non-mandatory in succession data model, and they would ask us as the onboarding implementation partner to make the gender field mandatory into onboarding module. So we can achieve that. We can replicate the data succession data model, and we can make that field mandatory here. But if the field is mandatory, we cannot make that non-mandatory in onboarding data model. We have to follow the succession data model there. Now, the labels are completely decided into the succession data model. We do not change the label into onboarding data model. We just make the fields mandatory if the field is not mandatory into succession data model. Now, business rule, we all know business requirement of the business rule. For US, the compliance form is applicable, such as the I-9 and all. So we can write a rule that for these particular companies, the business rule, the I-9 has to be applicable. And the business rules, you both would be knowing that what can be, where it can be used. And during the onboarding, we are going to know about it. So for example, let's say you want the national ID to be filled by the onboarding. But if you see, if you this Krishna would be able to relate on this. National ID portlet, unless you click on that add button, it is not mandatory by standard design. So you write a rule. So if the onboardee or any user does not fill the information and they try to submit it, they get an error that they have to complete their national ID information. Now, onboarding administrator, onboarding admin who is going to take care of the onboarding, as in case like we implementation partners work and then we leave, we hand over the system to the client, and then they have people internally available who manage the system, like they would manage the document template. Let's say they have introduced for the year 2024, they have some new benefit guides, or some policy has changed, so they can we can create onboarding admins. They can go and update the document templates by themselves. Given the permission, they can go and update the permissions. If they have the knowledge, they can update the business rules. For the email notification templates, we definitely give them the access, because these are some tasks which they should do. Homepage content, as in the updating the homepage style, we give the access to the onboarding admin, so they can go and update the homepage styles. Because as 2024 came, we had received many requests from the client that they have to update the policies, they have to update the holiday calendar and the tiles. So we give them the permission and they by themselves go and update that. Now, onboarding tasks. Uh, there are onboarding tasks related to writing the welcome message, recommending people for the new hire, uh, like assigning the IT equipment, security badge creation, as it is mentioned here, writing the welcome email, or assigning a buddy. So these tasks, who is going to complete those tasks? The permissioning is done according to that. So a rule is also written that which onboarding task has to be triggered, who is supposed to complete that. So there's a proper configuration for that. We'll come to that also. Now, responsible groups, as in who are the responsible people who are going to complete the tasks. Now, there are so far related to terminologies. There are any questions? This is a demo only. We are not doing any configuration right now. We'll start with the configuration training from tomorrow. Guys, any question?
No, not from my end. Just one thing. Are you still on the first slide? Because I can see the agenda slide.
Really? What about you, Krishna? Because I have reached to prerequisites for enable onboarding. I guess that is page number 11. What page do you see now?
Right now, I can see prerequisites of enabling onboarding. Before
Prior to
that,
this?
prior to this, we have only CIs and
What the hell? Okay, no worries. Let me do one thing. I don't know what happened
It's
because
okay.
I was
It's
doing
okay.
this slideshow.
We have
So, and I was reading those pointers and explaining that to you, that these are the headers: initiate onboarding, welcome message, provide personal data. Okay, no worries. So,
okay.
the terminologies we already know, because we, like, you both are working in success factors too, so you definitely know a lot of things. Uh, so it will be easier for you to connect. Now, prerequisites for enabling onboarding, these are the provisioning settings which we enable for success factors. So, like generic objects, Employee Central V2, Homepage V3, Business Config via Admin Center. This is you can say another place for accessing the succession data model, and there we replicate the succession data model and create the onboarding data model. Version 12 UI framework, effective dated data platform. I think you are able to see. I hope you are able to see these prerequisites for enabling onboarding.
Yes.
So what if I do this from current slide? What are you seeing right now?
We are seeing since 11th page.
11
Prerequisites
page. So
onboarding.
I think there is some issue with slideshow here, because I had gone to
Oh,
this page 12, but it was not changing. No worries. I
yeah.
guess it is. You are able to see page 11 again now. So now, the version 12 UI framework, effective dated data platform, document management services, document generation, attachment manager, dependent manager, print form services or print form generation. This is a request we raised to SAP. SAP gives us the credentials and we update that in the provisioning. Now, people profile, intelligent services, business process engine, and BPE in UI. Now, these all are enabled in provisioning. Now, feature comparison, compliance bundles, then RSM onboarding, EC mapping was there in onboarding 1.0. Now there is recruit to hire mapping tool, wherein we do a single mapping. Previously, we used to map recruitment fields to onboarding, and then we used to map the onboarding fields to employee central. So there was too much of chaos. Right now, we do not have to do that much of effort, and we just have to map RCM to recruit to hire data mapping, and the data seamlessly flows from recruitment to onboarding. And as we are using the same data model of employee centrals, we do not have to remap it from onboarding to employee central, and the data flows seamlessly. Document center, right now we have in onboarding, there was a different, or you can say separate document center wherein we used to view the documents. Do you know why we had these separate systems, as in super admin uh, or anything which was separate from employee central, Ankita?
You're asking about super admin?
Yeah, why we had a separate system for super admin, or the document center for admin for onboarding was different, report center for reporting for onboarding was different from
Because
uh,
it's
Bijex.
yeah, onboarding 1.0 basically is not a success factor product.
Yes,
Uh, that's where we have different platform for,
yes.
we don't have that in provisioning. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is why the SAP wanted to move completely to onboarding 2.0, and they did it so hurriedly that there were so many issues in the initial days, so many issues. There were so many limitations. But now, as the days goes by, they are recovering from those situations, and they are making it better and better. They are adding enhancements, and prior to this, there were so many issues. People were complaining so much. We used to get slapped right up here and there that this is not happening, that is not happening. But now the things are getting mature now in onboarding 2.0. And yeah, onboarding 1.0 was initially KMS systems, which was acquired by SuccessFactors, because the SuccessFactors had recruitment, learning, everything, but they were missing on this onboarding part. So they acquired onboarding 1.0 as in the KMS systems, and then integrated onboarding with SuccessFactors visits. Now, click to sign or DocuSign, SFE signature and DocuSign, kind of similar thing. I9 and E-Verify, they both have. Employees portal, SharePoint, enhanced homepage, cards, and media services. Previously, the tiles were not that much accessible. Pre-day one temporary user, now we have the external user. Hiring manager activities previously were done by hiring manager only. It could not be assigned to someone else. Now it can be assigned to someone else depending on the rules, depending on the configuration, depending on the responsible user, permission, and everything. Now, data privacy, ONBS specific. Now, this is data privacy is platform specific. Now, cross-boarding. Right now, we have internal hire process, offboarding, which was a basic process. Now it is strategic offboarding. Contingent support was not available. Support for contingent workforce is now available. We could not access onboarding, or we could not complete the onboarding via cell phone. Uh, Now we can complete that. We just need to have that link, and we can access that link, and we can complete the onboarding, uh, like from the candidate point of view, from a mobile phone. And different reporting tool, the reporting tool was inbuilt into SuccessFactors onboarding. Right now it is like we can use people analytics story reports for creating the reports. Now this would be the last topic, topic for now. We are going to discuss about the uh, onboarding process flow. Now, the process flow you see that can be changed depending on our requirement. So let's say for some of the countries, the compliance forms are available. Compliance task forms are available for those 5 countries, US, Canada, and New Zealand, Australia, and UK, but not for other countries. So we can create different process flow so the compliance form task can be skipped. Let's say some of the clients are saying that they do not want the additional data collection. Like the client I'm working with right now, they do not have the additional data collection. They're not asking any additional information from the onboarding. They're trying to accommodate everything within the personal data collection. And for each and every country, they are introducing new fields under the local or global information. They are not taking help from the additional onboarding data collection. For some of the countries, they do not have the document flow. They do not require the candidate to sign any document. So for Switzerland, for example, they do not have any document to be signed. So they're not asking for any document, and the document flow is not triggering. Uh, so we initiate the onboarding from. We are going to discuss only about success factors tools. So we initiate the onboarding from recruitment. In case if the recruitment is not available, then we initiate the onboarding manually. There is a feature there in SuccessFactors Onboarding 2.0 that you can initiate the onboarding manually. This addition, like add new hire to onboarding, came from the second update of the SuccessFactors Onboarding 2.0. When Onboarding 2.0 was introduced, this feature was not available. So any client which does not have the uh, recruiting management being used in the company, they can leverage this feature, add new hire to onboarding, or let's say if the client does not have recruitment live for that particular country. For example, the client I'm working with right now, they do not have recruitment. They did not have recruitment live for the UK and Switzerland. So for UK and Switzerland, they were using add new hire to onboarding, and for other countries they are using the initiate onboarding from recruitment. Now, once the onboarding is initiated, either from add new hire feature or from initiate onboarding from recruitment, there is a task which gets triggered, and it gets assigned to either the hiring manager or either to any responsible group, depending on the configuration we have done. So this review new hire data task is completed by anyone who has the permission to complete it and who has been assigned with this task. In review new hire data, they complete the review of the new hires data which has come from recruitment. So let's say the name, first name, last name, employee, the onboarding's email ID, company's name, country. If gender is filled in the recruitment and we are flowing that from recruitment to onboarding, then gender. Any additional information such as national ID information or the emergency contact information, any information we ask the candidate in recruitment, and client is saying that we want that information to come from recruitment to onboarding. We map that under recruit to hire data mapping, and that flows from recruitment to onboarding. So the responsible user or the hiring manager who is completing that review new hire data, they review their personal information. Now, once that is done, uh, just for your reference, we provide limited permission to the person responsible for the new hire data review or the user or the role. Reason behind, because let's say you provide, there are n number of mandatory fields in Employee Central, and you provide the permission to all those fields to the new hire coordinator. They would be stuck in filling all those mandatory fields, and they, even when they did not have the information from recruitment or any tool, they would have to ask the candidate over the call or by email that what all please share this information. So we provide them limited permission So once they try to complete the new hire data review, they do not have to fill any additional information from their end unless something is required to be filled and the client decides. They submit it. Once they submit, the personal data collection step is created, and that the onboardee receives an email with the welcome email with the password reset link and the user name or user ID, which is going to be their personal email ID, which has come from recruitment to onboarding, which the new hire coordinator has reviewed. They reset their password, they log in into the system the first time, they see a tile that they have to provide their personal data, they provide their personal data. First, parallelly, when the review new hire data is completed and this email is triggered to the onboardee, new hire tasks are also created, and this can be assigned to responsible groups or the hiring manager, whosoever the client wants, and those tasks has to be completed by the responsible user. They or the group, those tasks can be mandatory or non-mandatory, like non-mandatory as in should have, or some tasks can be must be completed. Now, compliance tasks and form are triggered just after completing the personal data collection, because compliance tasks or compliance documents are definitely going to require personal information, such as your first name, last name, address, and all. So compliance forms are triggered after the personal data collection. Along with that, additional data collection is also triggered, wherein the onboardee is asked about additional information which is not part of the employee central, and those has to be uh, populated on a form and has to be signed by the onboardee. Now, once the onboardee completes the additional data collection, document flow is triggered. Under document flow, the onboardee either gets the email from DocuSign that they have to sign some documents, or they get an email from SuccessFactors that they have to sign some documents. They come under the onboarding system and they agree to the terms and conditions and review the document which has come through the document flow, sign the document and submit it. Once they submit the document flow, candidate is moved into manage pending hires. We are not going to discuss about the external HRS here. The candidate is moved into manage pending hires, and anyone or any role, any user who is supposed to complete that manage pending hires, they complete that after reviewing all the information which is coming from recruitment to onboarding and onboarding to manage pending hires. Once they complete that, as we discussed about the job which runs in the which we created and which converts the external users into onboarding, on the date of joining, we schedule that job periodically. In some cases we schedule that for each and every hour. In some cases we schedule that to run at midnight. So during the morning when the onboardee comes to the company, they come as an employee. They already have the access to success factors, and they get an email after the conversion. They get an email from success factors. So Krishna and you both would be able to relate here. In the email notification template settings, there is an email welcome email. That email is sent to the onboardee when they get converted into employee, and they reset their password and they are able to log in into SuccessFactors now. So this was a bit of process overview. From tomorrow, we are going to discuss more about the settings and all, and what all comes under configuration. We'll be starting with that. Any questions so far related to the onboarding process or anything as of now?
No, no, we are clear.
So unlike, okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, no. He said he does not have any question. Do you have any question?
Okay. Yeah. So unlike onboarding 1.0, once the form triggers, the user is not able to sign it immediately. The signing part happens afterwards, is it?
Afterwards, as in what? I didn't get you. What do you mean by afterwards?
So there was a process, there was a step in the process that
Hmm.
a email will get triggered from DocuSign, and then all the acknowledgements and all will happen.
Okay. So what happens in case of if the DocuSign is integrated with SuccessFactors onboarding, in that case,
Uh-huh.
they get an
Mm-hmm.
email externally, not from SuccessFactors, from DocuSign, that they have to sign that document. They do not have to come back
Okay.
again into
Okay.
onboarding tool. They have to sign it externally
Mm-hmm.
within
Okay.
DocuSign. They do not need any credential for that from the DocuSign. They just have to click on that link, review the
Okay.
document, sign it, agree to the terms and conditions. That is the basic thing, and then adopt their signature, sign the document, and they get
Mm-hmm.
the document back to them, the signed document for record purposes to them. But if you talk
Mm-hmm.
about the SAP's
All right.
e-signature, if you talk about the
Mm-hmm.
SAP's
Mm-hmm.
e-signature, let's say they
Mm-hmm.
completed the additional data collection and they moved out of
Mm-hmm.
onboarding tool. They went off,
Mm-hmm.
or they thought to come back and complete any task which is pending. So at each and
Mm-hmm.
every step of the tasks or anything, the responsible user, in this case, the onboardee is the responsible user, gets a notification that they have to complete this. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
they get an email that they have to sign some documents. So they log in into the system. When
Mm-hmm.
they log into the system, they see a tile created as a document for document signature. They click on that. This is not a separate tile that comes under the provide personal data collection tile. They click on that
Okay.
start button, and a new page
Mm-hmm.
opens wherein they have to agree to the signatures terms and conditions. SAP's e-signature terms and conditions. They check the box, submit it, as in they agree to it, and then the page opens with the documents like 1, 2, 3, 4, and the documents has to be signed
Understood.
by the onboardee. They review the document and then they sign. I get your point, what you're trying to say. During the onboarding 1.0, when you submit all the information, the document step comes within that. You do not have to come
Correct.
back again, or no step is going to trigger. But in here, document flow is a separate step they have created, and you get an email, you agree to the terms and conditions, and then you complete that. So there's no
Okay.
continuation here. There's a disruption here
Mm-hmm.
that you complete the additional data collection, then you come back again to complete that.
All right. Got it.
Okay. Any other
Thanks for
question?
that.
Yes, I have certain questions. Can I ask?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
This is related to the training. So, are you going to cover this complete provisioning configuration setup from the implementation point of view?
See, we are going to, not me only, we are going to make it engaging, and we are going to work as a team. I'm not going to do that classroom training that I come here, I explain you everything, and you do that. We are going to sit together every day, and we are going to access the system. We are going to do the things. Provisioning part we would not be able to do. Reason behind, because we don't have the provisioning access. For we already know, because there are not much of settings which we have to do, and we as a consultant, we three of us know that what we have to do there in the setting. So if we know the setting, we just have to go and check the box and go and submit that and enter the company ID. So provisioning access I don't have, so we'll not be able to go into the provisioning. But yes, we'll be going through the configuration. You will be doing some tasks by yourself also. You have the access to your systems, as in your client systems. Not if not client systems, I
Uh,
expect that you have sales demo. You can create some tasks, or check in the system what we discussed, what we do, because
mm,
because
because what I'm
not
trying to say, sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, no, no,
Please
no
go
worries,
ahead.
no worries. Go ahead, Krishna. Go ahead, Krishna.
Yeah, because so when I get trying, when I don't have any implementation experience,
Hmm.
I get a chance to work in implementation. So at least I should have know about the basic uh, implementation guidelines to do for onboarding. So if you have covered those topics, that will be really helpful for me.
No, no, we are going to cover everything. We are not going to do this theoretical training only. We are going to cover those things also. I'll show you how the configuration is done. We are not
Okay.
limiting ourselves to this PPT only. This is our first day. So and also this thing I cannot explain completely on the system. So
Mhm.
this is why I have this PPT for
Yeah.
the demo, so you know the process flow. Because if I go in the system and say this happens, then that would become a problem. So it's better to start with this. And now one more thing:
Okay.
do you have any system access? Like, do you, Krishna, do you have access to the
Um,
system? I assume Ankita would be
unfortunately,
having.
unfortunately, SAP has, come up with this separate demo system. So my company has certain limitations, and they have removed the demo access for all the employees. So
Do you
that
have
is
client system access?
definitely we do have.
So what you
Yeah,
can do,
we
if
mhm.
if not create new things or new configurations in the system, you can at least go and look at the
Yes.
things which are, so you can connect the dots. So if we talk about something here, you can go and check that in the system so you know how it happens. So at the time of the implementation, you already know that what has to be done.
Yeah. And one more question, I have just pasted in the chat box that
Hmm.
is this
I don't know
related to the onboarding?
where the chat
Yeah.
box is. I don't know.
Mhm.
So
So
I'm
there
not
is
able to
a
see this.
okay,
Yeah,
there
here
is
it is.
a THR97 SAP
Mhm.
SuccessFactors Onboarding Academy. Is this related to onboarding 2.0? Because I
I
do have
think,
SAP
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is,
Learning Hub, so I can
yes,
download this document and I can
yeah.
go for the
This is related to SAP onboarding only.
2.0, right?
Yes,
Okay. And do we have any scheduled jobs that has to be maintained for onboarding?
yes. There are few scheduled jobs such as conversion job, which we discussed that converts the onboarding into employee. And
Mhm.
there are few jobs, but those are mainly employee central jobs. There
Mhm.
is one job for compliance task. We create that job to run the compliance task. And apart from that, any other job is mostly related to employee central, such as your DB cache, uh, manage DB cache or something like that. I'm forgetting the name. That job is there. Sometimes we to update the HRS. If the HRS sync is our HRS sync is also dependent on the employee central HRIS sync job.
Mhm.
So there are
Okay.
some jobs, but for us, the main job is conversion.
Okay.
So once the onboardee is hired through managed pending hires, that gets converted into employee.
Okay. Thank you. And you said there are some different reporting structures, right, compared to the employee central. So now going
Different what?
forward, reports, uh, reporting, right? We have certain create,
Yes.
to create the reports, right? So in
See,
going
there are no.
forward,
There is, I guess there are one or two only standard reports related to INN, and apart from that, there are no standard onboarding 2.0 reports available.
okay, can we do any integration center jobs for the onboarding too?
Yes, we can do. For learning, there is one integration center job created. So
Uh-huh.
that updates the list of onboarding into learning management. And we assist the learning implementation partner because learning module is completely owned by the learning management consultant. So we do not make any changes in that because if we make any change, you know how the game comes. Like if you make a change, that guy is going to grab you, grab you by neck. That if anything odd happens, if anything is not working, he has done it. The onboarding consultant has done it. So we liaise with them. We tell them our requirement that this is our requirement. If you need any assistance, let's sit together and create learnings for the onboarding.
Okay, okay, thank you. And what about the, sorry to ask you more questions.
No
So
worries.
if we
So this
have
is what we are here
like,
for.
yeah, external career sites, like, is this related to RCM or onboarding?
That is completely related to recruitment module. The external
Okay.
career site is not related to onboarding.
What about the open text configuration, like
No,
documentations and
we do that with success factors only. Open text we are not doing.
so
So
even
if you see
IAS
manage,
also, right?
see IAS, we have not like I have not done it, but I SSO is not
Single,
supported for onboarding.
single sign. Okay. But my client is using SSO. That's the reason they
For
have
onboarding,
discussed about. Yes, that's the reason I'm not curious about it.
for onboarding,
Yes, yes. They have
so I'm not
using
sure about it. Then we'll have to check.
oh, okay. Yeah, that is from my that's it. Thank you
Hmm.
for clearing
No,
up.
it's no. Worries.
Yeah. And what about the timings for this class?
Uh, Timing for trainings, you tell
Yeah.
me because I am okay with this timing of 9 to 10. You tell
Because
me.
from
Because
not only from me, Ankita also has to confirm because my do have a daily status call around 8:30 to 9:30. So after that 9:30, I'm okay with that. Or else prior to
see,
that, just you can tell me which time is suitable for you.
see, I am doing a session at in morning at from 6:30 to 7:30.
Mhm. So,
Six,
so
yeah, is that
morning
6:30 to
only.
7:30? Yes, is that Subbu, is that 6:30 to 7:30 or 7:30 to 8:30? I'm forgetting now. I don't know where Subbu is. 1 second,
So
I'm
is this only
forgetting.
for morning session? Do we have any evening sessions too?
See, I work with one of one company. So my clients are mostly are available in CET as in European Standard Time or US. So I start at already at 10 o'clock in the morning, but sometimes I get late. Like I work till 11 or something. So you tell me if this 9 to 10 is not fine, you can make it 10 to 11 or morning, early morning. Early morning, I'm just forgetting the timing.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm still working for US shift that is evening 5 to midnight 2.
Hmm.
So morning 6:30 is very too early for me. So that's the
No, no, I'm
reason I'm
not asking
thinking
you to
about
come at 6:30. I am doing a session at 6:30 for recruitment.
it. Okay, okay. So yeah, that is what I'm saying. So I'm available 9:30 to 10:30. If it is suits to you, then we can proceed, or else you
Ankita,
can tell
what do
me
you say?
the
That's this like evening, right? 9:30 to 10:30.
Yeah, 9:30, 10:30.
Okay, I guess that should be fine. We can continue with that, and in case if I think that should be fine for me. But in case in future, if due to project change or something, if
Even
anything
if you
happens,
want, even if you want, we can. If you want, we can. If you want to do that on weekends, that is also fine for me. I don't know what I don't know about Subbu, but that is also fine for me. So
okay.
we can continue till Friday, like 9:30 to 10:30. Then we sit for 3 to 4 hours on what do you say, Saturday and Sunday and cover most of it. Then we do a session alternate, and then on Saturday, Sunday, we sit for 3, 4 hours each day and complete it. So, up to you.
I know the duration of this course.
Duration, as in if you, what do you mean by duration?
It's just a 1 month or so.
That I have
1
not
month.
drafted. That I have
Okay.
not drafted yet. I've not
Okay.
checked the hours yet.
Okay. Fine. So thank you for giving valuable information. Sorry, may I know your name? Sorry.
I would not share my name, sorry.
Oh,
Reason
okay.
behind it, because
I got your point. I got it. I got
the
it. Sorry
company
to hear that.
I work
I
with,
understand.
uh,
I hear
every
you.
company, like your company, would also be having this clause that we should not be working or
I
we
hear
should
you.
not
I
be
hear you.
doing.
Yeah, I
So
hear you. So I can call you as a trainer. That's it. Thank
yeah, this is why I wrote this name.
you. All right. Thank you for this. We will continue from tomorrow. Okay.
Sure. So let's connect 9:30 to 10:30 tomorrow. Let's discuss this on
Yes.
Friday. That if this is fine, we can connect
Yeah.
on
In,
Saturday,
in
Sunday for
case you know,
3 to
in case if I want to
Sa
connect with you through email, so you can provide any test emails. Like if I have
test email as
any,
in.
like if I got any issues regarding my current project, so that you can clarify.
Sure,
Can
sure.
you
That is
clarify?
fine. That is fine. We can do.
Thank you.
Let's move
Thanks.
ahead with the training first, and then once we get to know more
Yeah,
about each
I'm
other.
going to support one of the clients in my company, so
Hmm.
that's the reason I really joined. And it's fortunate that Super is telling that there is sessions going on. Yeah,
Sure, sure, sure. Sure, we'll
thank
be
you.
connected.
Thank you very
Thanks, then.
much.
Let's connect tomorrow at 9:30. Even,
about the
yeah.
weekend, right?
Hmm.
Just wanted to let you know about the weekend. I'm not sure of it because since the vacation season has started, weekends would be little difficult. And one more thing I wanted to understand, will these sessions be recorded and will the recording be available for us to refer?
Ask Subbu about it. I'm not the right person to answer on this part.
Yes,
Subbu is
and
there right now. If not, I'll.
as per my
Yeah, yeah. Ping him
prior
separately.
experience with Subbu, so we can share the recording session for us every day.
Oh, okay, okay. Then that's fine.
Yeah.
And I guess something about the instant success was also discussed when I asked him the details. But anyways, we can ask him offline
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Yeah,
this.
Please
sure.
go ahead and please connect with them separately and
Yeah, yeah,
ask
yeah.
these questions.
Sure,
For
sure.
training part, you question me about this the topics. For these
Yeah, yeah.
things, please connect with Subbu.
Thank you very
Sure,
much.
sure,
Thank you,
sure.
Ken. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
both of you.
Thank
See
you
you
for
at
the session.
9:30
Yeah,
tomorrow. Bye. Take care.
Have a
Good
nice
day.
day.
yeah.
Bye bye.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.
आप समझ में आया साले